Every domain comes with privacy protection included, so you don't end up with unwanted solicitation. They're all included at the low cost of $9.95 per year. GoDaddy wants $10.69 from you.
And I thought they were the lowest.
Already have a domain? Right now, Visit xmlahost.com, your one-stop shop for the lowest in domain names and website hosting. xmlahost.com.
So look, whether you're performing, recording, broadcasting, or using sound for communications or safety applications, Aphex is committed to providing the absolute cleanest, clearest, and most effective signal and dynamics processing technologies that are available. That's what sets Aphex apart. There's no hype. There's just dedicated, talented engineers and designers steeped in the world of music, voice, and audio. And that's why you turn to them.
Seeking a home for your website and require managed services? What are managed services? You need to make a change to your website but don't know how to do it? Don't have a content management system installed or don't understand how to use it? Managed hosting is the way to go. With XMLA Managed Website Hosting, you just email us or give us a call and we will update your website for you. Packages start at only $24.95 per month, and it's only $5 for each additional gigabyte of space. And you can host and serve your site on a fast, reliable platform with complete control.
It's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up with your host, Jason Hadley. Amanda Bynes is gearing up for her upcoming semester at the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. Recently released from a psychiatric hold last year, be on the lookout for her new line of smart and sassy designer straitjackets. Friends and family are mourning the loss of Philip Seymour Hoffman after the actor was found dead from an apparent drug overdose. Despite opiates being found at the scene, considering Hoffman's weight issues, let's not rule out the possible overdose on poppy seed muffins.
Poppy seeds!
Poppy seeds!
For those of you that watched the big game, it was hard to avoid the halftime show, which is actually the same thing since half the time they're just showing commercials.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jesse Eisenberg has been cast to play Superman's arch-enemy Lex Luthor. Of course, with all the reboots since the original 1980s movies, the list of Superman's weaknesses has been expanded to bad scriptwriting and subpar acting. And that's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up. Follow us on Twitter at Rockin' Wrap-Up.
All right, it is time for another episode of Drinks at Sunset with
The Wise Guys.
I'm J. Anthony McCarthy.
I'm Steve Sabo.
And we are two men of a certain age trying to make it in careers in Los Angeles in this wonderful town called Hollywood, being actors and making a living and having a life.
That's right.
So,
that's the key.
Yep, indeed.
Trying to stay sane in this land of la-la.
All right.
And hey, what are you drinking there, big fella?
I am drinking the classic bourbon and ginger. I think it's Canadian Mist and Canada Dry Ginger Ale. I'm
very
happy
nice.
with that.
Bourbon and ginger, very nice. I am drinking Captain Morgan's Spice Rum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying with the rum, but I'm changing it up a little bit. And Coke Zero.
Oh.
Instead of Diet Coke, I'm trying Coke Zero. Have you ever tried this?
Real Coca-Cola taste and zero calories.
Very good.
I have not.
You should try it.
I kind of stay away from it right now. I'm kind of staying away from all Coke products, but for a little while. You want to hear something just ironic. Okay.
I love irony.
Okay. To me, it's ironic, right?
I like irons, boards, everything. Go ahead.
So I told you last week that the reason that I was going to stay away from Coke products for a while, I mean, part of it is I'm trying to be healthier, but part of it is because of the Sochi Olympics, Visa, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, they're going to make a lot of money by, sponsoring them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And in a place where, I mean, have you seen all the reports and everything, what a mess it is? But the big deal is just...
Yeah, we have it something we're going to talk about. But go ahead. Mm-hmm.
The big deal is that, the whole... the way the laws have been put into effect in Russia about, lesbians, the whole, LGBT,
anti-gay, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm doing this. Now,
you're boycotting Cokes because
they're going to make a ton of money supporting.
They're sponsoring Olympics, which is in a country that's anti-gay.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
just my little way of kind of saying something. I'm not sure what I want to come from it. I mean, consider the idea that to me, Coca-Cola has been a great brand and has
you love Coca-Cola.
has been. I do, and has meant something to me through the years, and actually, is one of those things. But so at the very same Super Bowl that we watched together.
Yeah.
There was
that what it was?
Yeah.
That was the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
It looked like a slaughtering.
Yeah, really. It was embarrassing.
Man. Certainly wasn't super.
No.
It was a bowl, all right.
Yeah, just the Seahawks
Bowl
were just the better team that night. Good Lord.
We'll talk about that later, too.
Yeah, we're going to do that, too. But there was a beautiful commercial for Coca-Cola
At the Super Bowl?
In the Super Bowl.
Are you talking about the
America the Beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
There's this beautiful America the Beautiful, the song America the Beautiful. Sung by all of these different people of different nationalities.
Children. They were all children.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're all Americans. But
Correct.
they were singing in the languages of the families that
of their heritage.
Their heritage,
And did you hear their voices?
They were beautiful.
Angelic.
Yeah.
They're incredible voices for kids.
And it made me think of the classic Coca-Cola commercial from the 1960s.
I want to teach the world to sing.
I'd like to teach the world to sing.
Yep.
And what was that? It was a whole bunch of different nationalities joining hands.
Made up a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it was just beautiful, right?
Yep.
The internet has blown up
I know.
with all of these people talking about how un-American that was, not to sing that. Hey, this is my favorite one. How dare they not sing the national anthem in English? It's like not the national anthem.
It's not
America the Beautiful is a beautiful song about it.
But
it's
about America,
Star Spangled Banner.
It's not the national anthem.
Star Spangled Banner is our national anthem.
Sorry, Vern, not the national anthem.
And B, that's what Coca-Cola has always done. Is they've reached out to all the different countries and made a genuine beautiful thing out of the melting pot that is the United States.
Yes.
Oh my God! So now there's this huge call for a boycott by some of these people of Coca-Cola, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be associated with those jerks.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's the fringe. It's all it is.
Oh my gosh!
But don't confuse it with being the majority.
It's a vocal minority.
It's a vocal minority.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's what the internet does now.
Yeah,
the internet allows the vocal to give you that voice to the minority, whether you like it or not. It's there now.
Yeah.
It's in your face now. Where before it was always whispered in back rooms, and you had to be a part of that to hear that kind of talk.
Yep.
Now it's out there, and it's there if you want to find it.
Yep.
And
the anonymity of the internet lets you say outrageous things without having to suffer the
right,
consequences.
and it's also given it a lot of exposure. Where, like I said before, it was all a lot of that talk was in back rooms.
Yep.
Within their own little focus, their little group of liked minds.
But here I am with my
oh
little
my gosh,
tiny,
what a save!
Yeah,
what a save!
My little tiny sense of civil disobedience, my little tiny
It's
sense
now
of,
being lumped in with
it's like, oh no, God! I feel like I have to write. I was going to write a note to Coca-Cola anyway to say something to them because, like I said, they've been, as far as I'm concerned, in a lot of ways, they've been a really great American company. You know,
absolutely.
and my objection to it is just part of my little section of objections. You know, it's like
sure.
So now I've got to not just write them a note and say why I'm doing it, but also to say, and please, I got nothing to do with those other guys. I'm probably going to drink your stuff again someday. Anyway, oh man, that just.
Can we just get through the Olympics, please?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really.
Speaking of which,
speaking of this week, how was your week?
Well, I've had
man of this. What is it called? The non sequiturs or whatever.
Yeah, that's okay. It was a great segue.
Great
segue.
Man of the non segues.
Yeah. I've actually had one of the best weeks I've ever had since I came to
Really?
LA.
Tell me more.
So
I'm laughing because I heard a little bit of it earlier when we were watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was nice enough to give me a little bit of it because you put some of it out on Facebook, but it was very non-specific.
You noticed that I don't really say a whole lot on Facebook.
No, and I understand that. Believe me, I do. But it got me, it wetted the whistle. It got me really interested in trying to,
piqued your curiosity.
Yes, and hopefully I'd find out what that was all about. And now you are as well.
So I got hired for Rake 2 weeks ago, and I've discussed that. Rake is the Greg Kinnear show.
What was just let me jump in because I wanted to ask you this earlier and I haven't, so I'm going to ask you now. What was the audition for that we taped at my place at the Lead Pipe Productions? What was that for?
It was for a movie.
It was for a movie.
It was for a movie
so
called.
Movies could be. Yeah. You might not hear for months.
And I haven't heard anything.
That's all right.
I may not have gotten it or whatever. So but yeah, which again I really appreciated the help.
No. That's why I just wanted to make sure
that wasn't the same thing. So.
Right, but you booked Rake.
I booked Rake,
and you shot it last week.
And so on 2 Fridays ago, I got called in. Originally, it was supposed to be. There you go. We're watching the hockey game, Buffalo versus Pittsburgh.
Tape delay, but we're in the 5 minutes into the first period. Ryan Miller made a great save with stopping them to score on a power play, and now just after the power play ended, Drew Stafford I can't see. I got to see the replay because we were talking. He's got it behind the net. Tries to go around the boards. Shoots it in. There it is.
Yep, just flips it right in there.
Digs it out in front.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the way it's supposed to be played, you know?
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Pokes it in behind him. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah. So anyway, I booked Rake. Originally, I was supposed to be in 2 to 3 scenes. I had one line.
One line.
I'm playing a court bailiff, and the first scene that I got to shoot.
Can you say the line or not?
I'm not going to.
We're going to let you watch the show.
Watch the show at some point in time.
Watch the show, and you're going to see the line. Yeah, fair enough.
So I got one line. I got 2 scenes.
Yep.
And when I first got told about it, I thought, okay, this is one day's worth of work. And when I got called by them, it said, well, we might be using you for 2 days. So I was very excited because that could mean 2 paychecks. That's a really nice deal.
Yeah, 2
right?
Day rates.
Right.
And then, of course, you still get the residual.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So now I go on the set. They're like, we're going to shoot all your stuff on this one Friday. This was 2 Fridays ago, which would have been January, whatever it was. So I get on the set. They're wonderful. They're beautiful. And they get to the one scene where Greg Kinnear is making fun of me. Mm-hmm. It's going later and later at night. It's just kind of a rough day. Stuff happens sometimes. And they're like, you know what? We're not going to get a chance to get to your second scene.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, or is it being written out? They're like, no, it's not being written out. We're just going to bring you back another day.
The immediate reaction as an actor is, oh shit, they're cutting it out.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to say, oh no, we're going to have you come back, which means ching ching.
Which means 2 days.
Another paycheck.
Yeah, which is fantastic. I'm really excited.
That's much better news.
They said, we're not sure where it's going to fall on our schedule, when we're going to have the time to shoot that thing. So we'll let you know sometime within the next 2 to 3 weeks when we need you.
Okay.
Now, again, I'm excited. I'm going to get a second day. This is all I'm worried about. You know, this is a fantastic thing to me. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying the other co-stars that I'm doing the scene with. It is a blast. So last Friday, I get a call from my manager saying I have an audition this Monday. This would have been Monday the 2nd, I think.
Today's the 5th. So it'd be the 3rd.
Third, right? Monday the 3rd. So on Monday the 3rd, I have an audition for Bones on the Fox lot at 5:30 in the afternoon, and I'm very excited. You know, love to be on Bones. Rick Milliken casts it. I've worked for him before when he was doing Judging Amy. I'm looking forward to the audition. Less than a half an hour after I get the information on getting the audition for Monday, I get the call from Rake saying, hey, we have you scheduled to shoot your scene at 5:30 Monday, February the 3rd.
No, the same day?
The same day.
Oh, man.
Not just the same day, the same exact time.
Oh, no.
And now the difference between, you've booked a gig, you have an audition, you're definitely going to work the booked gig.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I called my manager and said, hey, guess what? And she was like, oh, okay. Don't worry about it. I'll call them, and we'll see if we can get you in earlier. If not, they like you, they'll bring you in another time. Because here's the nice thing. The Bones audition was a direct-to-producer session. Okay. So, it was just like I already had the call back. Yeah. Without having had to read anything.
But it's also, think about the agent's call to them.
Yes.
Saying, hey, oh, by the way, my guy can't make it. He's actually shooting that day on another TV show who booked them because they thought he was great.
Yes.
So that's the call. That's
the call she got to make. Now, she wasn't able to make it on that Friday because Friday the January 30th because it was already after hours. It was already like 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, the casting goes home sometimes early.
Yeah, yep. On a Friday. So
definitely on a Friday.
So I get called on Monday at 1:00 saying Bones would still like to see you. They'll have you in at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Wow! So they adjusted for you.
And not only that,
awesome.
They adjusted for me. But here's the fantastic thing: the Bones audition is on the Fox lot off of Pico Boulevard. Yeah. And the Rake shoot was on the Sony Studios lot off of Washington Boulevard, literally connected by Motor. Motor is a street that goes straight through.
About a mile away.
It's a little more than a mile. It's like 5-6 miles. But it's like even at rush hour, I have an easy shot at getting there in less than half an hour. It was astonishing. So I go walking over to Fox lot. Now, the way Fox has things set up right now, they used to let you park in their parking garage that was on the Fox lot.
Right.
When you had an audition, you could park there and walk right onto the lot. Now they're doing enough shows that there's not enough parking for their crew and actors.
Okay.
So anybody who's doing an audition has to park farther away. It's about a quarter of a mile, almost a half a mile away.
Oh, wow.
So you park in this one parking garage close to the Century City Shopping Center. You walk up and across Olympic Boulevard on the Avenue of Stars, and then you walk into the Fox Lot parking garage where they let you go in and tell you where you're going to go on the Fox Lot.
Right.
So I park, I do my walk. The wind is blowing at about 25 miles an hour.
Oh,
I'm afraid I'm going to lose my script.
Yeah.
But it's no big deal. I mean, it's not like we're not talking about a terrible thing. But being fat and out of shape made you kind of go, oh, I'm going to sweat before I get there. Okay. Yeah. Get to the Fox Lot. As I'm walking through the Fox Lot parking garage, I hear J. Anthony. And I turn around, and the beautiful Amiana Alman.
Your good luck charm.
Who used to work with us on We Pick the Winners when we were doing that, who was wonderful to work
Trivia
with.
Trivia girl, yeah.
She was a fantasy girl. She was one of our fantasy girls.
Was she a fantasy? That's right. She was a fantasy,
part of the fantasy girls, yeah.
She used to pick fantasy players.
Yeah, she, who was a sweetheart, she is my good luck charm. The last time I saw her on a set was last year, in December. As I was walking, bumped into her just as I walked into the room to do the Braddock and Jackson audition. That was my booking at the end of last year.
Right.
And so I got to see, so here I am walking into another cool audition, Bones, who I'd love to book. Fantastic. And there she is. How you doing? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah.
Hence the good luck charm.
So I'm like, yeah, I walk down to I walk all the way across the Fox Lot going, you guys are in trouble. Walk in, and because they let me come in early, obviously I'm not there at the same time as all the other guys that are auditioning for the minister part.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So they're still going through their guest stars?
Well, they're going through their guest stars, and they're supposed to start at 4 o'clock. They're these women who are playing the part that I'm going to be opposite at some point in the show if I book it, right?
Okay.
And I recognize one of the women. I don't know exactly who it was, but I'm sitting there. They're all, kind of relaxing. 4 o'clock shows up, and Bones hasn't started yet. They're waiting for the producers to show up.
Oh, okay.
So 4:15 comes, and they're waiting for the producers to show up. Well, at this point, the producers have shown up, but they're having to take care of some stuff. So I thought I was going to get started at 4 o'clock or somewhere around there. At 4:40, they start seeing the women who are in front of me. Now, there's only 5 of them.
Okay.
And they're only doing about 3 or 4 pages of dialogue each. Mine is 2 lines.
Right. And when's your call time?
My call time's at 5:30, so now it's 4:40.
All right.
If
so
we're pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, it's getting a little tense.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But I'm not worried about it.
Okay,
I still, it's one of those things where I know that even if I showed up 5 minutes late, which I never want to do, to the rake place because of the way they're doing things, I'm probably going to be fine. Don't want to do that. So I'm relaxing. Those women start going in the door. And who walks in the door for one of the other guest star roles, not this particular character, but one of the most beautiful women and most underrated actresses I know in Hollywood, a woman named Nadja Bjorlin. I used to be in classes with her over at Leslie Kahn's with Stan Kirsch as my teacher.
Yeah.
She's this stunningly beautiful woman who, she's got some kind of Nordic background. I don't know if it's Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish. I believe she's either Norwegian or Swedish. I think she's Norwegian. But anyway, she's about 5'8".
What's her name?
Black hair, with blue eyes, and it's real blue, like ice, electric blue eyes. Okay,
baby.
She's astonishing. She's also a very good actress. I've seen her do comedy and kill. I've seen her do dramatic and kill. She's a soap opera lady. So she's just this astonishing woman. That's her right there.
Oh my gosh!
I just showing Steve a picture of her from the internet.
Very nice.
She's just a wonderful. On top of which, she's nice. Like, she's so beautiful, she could get away with not being nice, and she's nice. So I get to see her, and she walks in the door and looks at me and says, "I know you," and starts chatting with me. And it's my turn, so I stand up and I'm waiting in the hallway while I'm talking to her. While I'm talking to her, out of the corner of my eye,
she needs to be a fantasy girl. There's no doubt about it on our show.
If we had enough money to pay her, as a guest star on a 1 hour thing, we could probably get her as one. But while I'm standing in the hallway talking with Nadia, I look out of the corner of my eye and I notice another absolutely stunningly beautiful woman, one of my favorite actresses I've ever worked with. This woman named Kavi Ladner. That's spelled Kavi.
Okay.
Kavi Ladner is like 5'1", perfectly proportioned. She was on Heroes. I think she played the girlfriend of the wife of the Indian guy who was the original character and everything in that.
Right.
She's an excellent actress. She can do all of these accents spot on. Stunningly beautiful. She walks up the hallway while I'm talking to Nadia, looks at me and goes, "Jay Anthony, oh my goodness, how are you? You look beautiful. You look." Now I have two of the most beautiful women that I've ever met in my life telling me before I walk into my audition, "You changed something, didn't you? Oh, you shaved your beard and mustache. You look so handsome." I walked into that office.
Can you get your head in?
Yeah, really. I walked into my 2-line audition for Bones, basically going, "Don't care. I'm happy. Couldn't have a better day already."
That's right.
And then I killed the audition. I had a great time. I finished up. They went, "Wow, that was great. You couldn't ask for anything more." I said, "Thanks for seeing me." Walk out the door, give Nadia a hug. Covey's gone off to take care of something because she brought her daughter with her.
Okay.
Head out, bust butt across the Fox lot, get in my car, drive to Rake, get there 10 minutes early.
There you go.
I couldn't, traffic was perfect.
Now they know you're professional.
Yep. I get there 10 minutes early. I always try to be there at least 10 minutes early. But anyway, get there 10 minutes early, walking on the lot, just grinning. My day's already fantastic. I walk past the PA's trailer, and this one lovely PA, Debbie, who's kind of in charge of me and the other co-stars, goes, "Anthony, how are you? You're in the same wagon. You're in a different dressing room, but it's the same wagon, so just head on over there. And, please make sure you sign your new contract." And I went, "New contract?" She says, "Yeah, they're giving you some more money." And I'm like, "But I'm just going to work a second day." And she's like, "Go look at your new contract." So I walk into the thing thinking, well, maybe they're going to give me an extra day, so I'm going to get paid for 3 days or something. Or, walk in. My contract is, because they held me over for a week, for longer than Friday to Friday, they paid me for the entire week, which is technically what they're supposed to do according to SAG. But a lot of people wink at things because, well, you only worked on this day and you worked on this day, and we weren't trying to hold you the other days and blah, blah, blah. No, these people were honorable. These people were on top of it. These people said, "No, this is what we're going to do." So myself and the other two co-stars who were in this scene in the jury room all got a week's pay on top of 1 day from the previous week.
Wow. That is awesome.
I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, there's my rent for at least 2 months. Good money for my managers. I just could not ask for a better thing. So, from that standpoint, I had a really good week.
I think so.
One of the best weeks I've ever had since I've been to LA. And this is actually the way things are supposed to work, but I just haven't been in that position. So, man, I'm really, really happy. So, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I know that was a long story.
No, it was well worth it.
We're covering all the bases here,
especially when you show me photos.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I've had a couple of great voiceover auditions that I was able to tape at home and send to my voiceover manager. My voiceover agent without having to worry about anything. It's astonishing. I've had a good week. So let's see here. And this is the other actress that I was talking about, Kavi Ladner, who
she's my eye.
Yeah, she's such a good actress. We got to work with her on And Boris, and she here we go. She's just such a good actress. We got to play a little bit. She got to be kind of a badass secret agent with us, and we're hoping to have. Isn't she astonishing?
Oh my God!
Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said two of the most beautiful women I've ever met. On top of which, I mean, whether or not
Stunning.
you're worried about
stunning.
you're worried about physical attributes of a human being or anything else.
Definitely another fantasy girl.
Both of them, just fantastic actresses that have not gotten anywhere near the recognition that I think they should, and both of them really good people, just nice people,
right.
Not stuck up, not. I can't say enough. Anyway, so that's my week.
That's an awesome week.
Yeah,
we need more weeks like that.
I need that week to have many siblings.
That's right. That's right.
So
we need that to be a monthly week.
So am I all right in asking you how your week was?
Yeah. How do I follow that?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I was kind of dancing around things for a little while before we got to that.
Well, speaking of my week, what do you say we give a plug to who we are? We're on Excite Radio.
Another Steve Sabo patented smooth segue.
There we go. Excite Radio on Thursday night at 11 p.m. You should be listening to us right now. So we thank Excite Radio for giving us the opportunity to come out there and share with you our insights and things that are happening. Also, you can check out our website at thewiseguys.net, thewiseguys.net. And Tony, why don't you tell them where our email is?
Our email is sswiseguys@aol.com. That is S as in Sam, S as in Sam, wiseguys@aol.com. Or you can check us out on YouTube on our channel, The Wise Guys TV, where you'll see some of our videos going all the way back to the Whacker 3000.
Yes, the originator of The Wise Guys. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of my week, I got a little more. I think I told you I got a little more responsibility with my after-school program with teaching kids chess. Mm-hmm. We have our monthly meeting Monday, and so he's putting more stuff into my hands, which is good. Also, I walked into my territory today as my meet and greet for my other job, which is Vortex Doors. I go out in the field and talk to different business owners about their door situation and make sure everything's working properly, because if you can't get people in or out of your location, you're losing money. So doors become very important at that point, or security gates and such. And I walk into this little diner in Montrose, up in the foothills area, past Burbank.
Right.
And lo and behold,
it's actually very pretty up there.
Yeah. And this is a little nice area of, they just scored. Damn it. A nice area of where it looks like it's got like a little French, bohemian type of thing, and they had little plaques on the thing saying that they wanted to make it look more Frenchish, and there's a French cafe that's in town, and so anyways, sitting at the table is our good friend Andy Forrest.
No kidding.
Having breakfast.
Fantastic.
So I had a chance to catch up with Andy for about 5-10 minutes before I started my day, and he's doing well. He just got over what I got over.
Yeah.
And I had it twice. The flu, he's calling it the flu. I'm saying it's more bronchitis, but he said that, yeah, that's what he had. And he said, he goes, I don't wish that on anybody. I go, I hear you, buddy. I hear you. And
it was after he told me he got sick that I went out and got my flu shot.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
And I told him a little bit about that. I told him that you're doing, you booked a couple of shows, so you're doing really well. And he had a friend there who I apologize, I can't remember. But I'll friend him up on Facebook when I get a chance. I remember what he looks like. I just don't remember his name. And but anyways, and he wanted he does a little producing as well, and so we chatted about that. And
Scott.
Not Scott. No, I know Scott.
Okay.
And but anyway, so it was nice seeing him, and telling his friend a little bit about our show and the fact that Andy was a part of it. And he says things are a little slow for him right now, but he's been sick, so he's just happy to get over that, and so he's feeling better about that. But it was nice to see him.
Yeah,
it was really nice to see him.
I got to talk to him during the week that he was right after he was starting to get better, because it's been a while. But the beginning of the year started off blazing guns for him too, that he couldn't go to because he was too sick.
That's what he said. He said he had like four auditions that just all piled up right when he was the worst of what he was, and he was like, it's unfortunate, but that's sometimes that's when it happens. So do the best you can. And other than that, just hooking and jabbing, getting doing a little bit more exercising, trying to
fantastic.
Lost a little bit of weight this week, so I'm happy about that.
Excellent.
Not as much as you, but
okay.
just
well, I've got more to go.
Yeah. So that was kind of neat. Other than that, we watched the latest episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, we did.
It's been a couple of weeks off for whatever the reason. I think for whatever the Super Bowl or whatever, I don't know.
Right.
But it's their last episode prior to the Olympics, because they're now not going to be, their next episode's not going to be till March 4th,
right.
Which I'm assuming is because of the Olympics. They're
Yeah.
taking a break. But it was kind of like I don't want to say a year-ender, but it was kind of like one of those cliffhangers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they did say, some major things were going to happen.
They called it a series-changing episode.
There you go. Well, I think that was pretty accurate, don't you?
Yep.
And if you haven't seen it, tough, we're going to tell you about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it. This is a stylish show and everything else where when they are in action, it really is fun to watch.
A couple of good fight scenes today.
Yeah, a couple of excellent fight scenes. The guy who plays Agent Ward, if it's not him, whoever his stunt double is just excellent at what he does. But those fight scenes that he's in are great.
He's got one in a little train car.
Yeah, with two opponents.
Yeah, taking on two people at once, and in a train car. Kind of reminded me of that little scene you saw of the Captain America in the elevator shaft.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But in Captain America took on like 8 people at once. He's taking on 2 people, but still, it was reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
Because every time he turns around, he's got somebody coming at him from a different angle. So
one with a knife.
Yeah. As soon as he throws a punch, he's got to block one from behind without even just by sensing it. And one had a knife. You got a little dinged up on that. Another guy had a gun. He had to get rid of that. But anyways, he prevails. But it was well done.
Very well done. It was extremely well done. The fight scene. There's a fight scene later on with Ming Na.
Oh my God, that was great.
Where she's about to be tortured and
she's being tortured.
Yeah, and she.
In fact, what tipped it off, what made her the most happy is when she got stabbed.
Because he wound up leaving the knife with her.
He wound up leaving the knife, and he goes, that's what I've been waiting for, or something like that,
yeah.
or you've just made me happy. And she, oh man, she's got a knife in her shoulder. She's being strung up by her wrists.
Right.
And she pulls herself up, pulls the knife out, cuts her rope, gets her down, cuts her feet, cuts her hands, and then wipes out 4 people.
Yep. And chases the head bad guy, who cowardly runs out.
Right.
Chases him and manages to get him just as he's about to do something evil. They did a nice job of time jumping in this episode because the story allowed us to see everything that everybody did
that were in different parts of the train.
Yeah, and different parts of the countryside and everything else.
Keep it on.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So.
Okay.
So it became. They did an excellent job. The conceit of how they accomplished it. And also the process of discovering that somebody else had some of their tech, or a variation of their tech, and how did that happen, and what's going on? And
so, what was series changing about this episode?
Well, we may have lost Scrappy Doo. She may be dead.
You mean Sky?
Yes. Sorry.
Sky, who happens to be probably the most important character in the episode right now.
Yeah.
Because we're still trying to find out what level of power she has.
Right, because
all we know from the previous episode is she's now what do they call it, Section 8 or
not Section 8. Section 8 is a different thing.
It's a level 8 or something like that. Or?
It's unknown, object of unknown origin or something like that.
U8 or something like that.
It's
But usually it's an object. We found out a couple episodes. It's her.
Right.
She is that.
Yeah.
So we don't know, because all we see her as being human. We don't know what that means or how that's going to morph itself into or translate into later. But, she gets shot in this episode. We think she's going to die.
She gets shot twice.
Yes,
Guy
at close range.
Shoots her in the stomach, with a small caliber weapon.
Gives her a hug and then shoots her again while she's hugging her.
In the back, which means I think he shot her right in the kidneys.
Oh, man.
Which is got to be astonishingly painful, and you bleed out pretty fast from that.
Yeah, well, the good news is
she's sort of alive at the end of the episode. We don't know if she's going to make it.
In a chamber.
In a hyperbaric chamber.
In a Michael Jackson chamber.
Yep.
and the other good news is they catch the bad guy.
Right.
So they got the bad guy.
Well, they catch a bad guy.
Who was the guy they were going after originally in the whole episode. But they're down Sky. Scrappy Doo's wounded.
Yeah.
Severely wounded. And they still don't know what they're dealing with. And another character comes back who you were hoping they weren't killed.
Right.
Mike.
Yeah. Mike is still alive.
What is the centipede guy?
Yeah, he was. Who
they turned, who was bad. They turned him to good, and now he's bad again.
Well, he never wanted to be bad to begin with. He was trying to be a hero, but the stuff, the Sentinel stuff that they were giving him, not Sentinel like that.
Centipede. The Clairvoyant turned him, originally had him bad.
Yeah. This just it started making him crazy and everything else. But he's back. He's in pieces, but he's back, and they gave him something. They gave him something that made him relatively whole again. And for any of you Marvel comic book geeks that are out there,
and here's the tease for next week.
Yeah, the
technology
name of the technology
of his leg
is the Deathlock project. So any of you who know who Deathlock is from that, we've been introduced to the
beginning stages,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of this version of Deathlock. So I'm happy. I enjoyed it. It feels like it's improving. Again, anytime that they're putting action into it, it's good. They have expanded the characters a little bit, giving them a little more heart or dimensionality or something like that. And
they're letting them play. They're trying to expand some stories between Ming, or not Ming. What's her name?
Ming Na. She
plays
May, Agent May.
Yeah, I'm sorry, May, and the kid, the guy,
Ward.
Mm-hmm. They kind of have a little love affair going on. I think it's more one-sided. But then again, May came back and kind of let him know that I am still here for you. It's just that's who I am.
Right.
And also we saw that triangle now go between May and Agent Coulson.
Right.
Because there's history obviously there.
Right.
I just don't know. They haven't shown any of it other than there's something that had happened at some point.
Right.
Earlier on. And so that's going to be interesting. And then, Scrappy Doo's got it for Ward.
Right.
And then the two scientists got it for each
Fitz
other.
And Simmons, right.
They have yet to express their love for each other, but that it's there. It's just they're like they're brilliantly minds, but they're adolescent when it comes to emotional stuff.
Expressing themselves. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So, but that's the nice thing about the show. They got them more adults now, as opposed to making them all dumb about certain things.
Right.
So.
And there's always, you got to figure out a way to write this stuff so that you're creating problems for your characters, but you got to do it in a way that you don't always make your characters stupid.
Right.
Anyway, going from a show that I thought had potential, I think it's starting to realize some of that potential, and we'll
give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I would give almost anything to have a chance to get in front of Joss Whedon and be on one of his shows.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, we need to get in front of Josh and say, Josh, I don't care who we are or what we do, let us be on that show.
Yep.
Now we also watched a show that I had pre-taped, and it's I don't know if you guys seen it. It's on AMC. It's called Comic Book Men, and it's a show about a comic book store called Jay and Silent Bob's
Secret Stash.
And it's owned by
Kevin Smith.
And Kevin Smith actually is like a silent partner. Mm-hmm. He has his friends who he grew up with out of New Jersey, who run the day-to-day operations. But they do a weekly show. I don't know how often they tape it, but I think they might do 13 in a season, and it's kind of like a podcast. They're sitting at a poker table, and it looks like a cellar, somebody's cellar. And they basically sit around a table and just bullshit on what happened for the week. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of neat because they go back and show clips of people that come in and want to trade comic books or that type of stuff. Well, today's episode was based around the fact that Kevin Smith was out at Comic-Con, or one of these comic book conventions, and Lou Ferrigno, I'm not saying that right. Lou Ferrigno, who played the Hulk on TV, came up to Kevin at the Comic-Con, and they got chatting. And Lou says, "Hey, Kev, I'll get you in shape." And Kev got a little nervous about that because he goes, Lou could be really good and
really hardcore,
or he could be, kind of understanding, but I better find out. So he says, I need a guinea pig. So he had one of the guys at the shop, Brian, who apparently has put on a lot of weight in the last 6 years because they showed before and after pictures, but who's kind of a mainstay. He was actually the original owner of the shop who they bought it from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's still in the show. He's an important part of the show. I think he plays a real good role. But anyways, he had him go to the store, and Lou Ferrigno have him be the guinea pig, so Kevin Smith would be able to gauge on how hardcore this training program was going to be for him.
Right.
And that was the episode. So he had the Hulk training him. He had people coming in buying comics. They pick on Ming, who's a little Asian guy all the time, and it's fun little interaction. They have fun in the show.
Right.
What'd you think?
It's a fun show. It's a fun show. I'm more and more and more. I've never been a huge fan of all the reality television. There are some things that I enjoy, but more and more and more, I'm recognizing the setups. I'm recognizing the painful dialogue that has been written for guys who are not real actors. Right. And it's tough watching it because of how set up it is. Now, the moments when they're all sitting around the microphone and just chatting, it feels real. It feels like they are doing their podcast and doing their thing. Mm-hmm. The rest of it, the people who come in to sell stuff, the people who come in to buy stuff, all setups, that people have scripted it out and everything else. And I find it a little annoying. But it was entertaining having Lou Ferrigno on. It was entertaining having the Hulk. It was entertaining having them have a chance to actually, have a brief moment of asking the Hulk a question, asking Lou Ferrigno a question about when he shot the show. Because he talked about some of that stuff. And that I thought was genuine as well, and that was enjoyable.
I really I enjoyed or appreciated when Hulk was training the guy, because they showed him some training sessions, which was kind of hokey, but you saw where he was coming from. He says, I've been doing this for 50 years.
He's 61 years old.
He's 61 years old, and he still looks great.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, what he had to go through because of his impediment. He had a speech impediment because he's partially deaf.
Right.
And he said, kids always picked on him and stuff. And the other guy made a comment like, yeah, when you turned in, got yourself into shape and you probably went back and kicked their ass. He says, actually, no, they became my biggest fans.
Yeah, I like that.
And to me, that's the flip. That turns it right on its end where you think, I'm going to go and kick their ass because I'm the Hulk.
Right.
And in reality, he turned it into a positive instead of a revenge or a negative type of thing. And to me, that said everything I wanted. That told me everything I wanted to know about Lou Ferrigno as a person. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want to hear out of people.
Yep.
To me, that's the kind of belief you want to have in people, and it's great that you see it every now and then. And I saw it right there, so that was really neat.
Yep.
But the jump ahead to the next show we saw, which is one of your favorites, which is why I tape it, because I only seen a few of them. You watch them all the time.
I do.
The new episode of Archer.
I really like Archer. H. John Benjamin, all the people involved in that.
And now it's called what? Archer Ice or
Archer
Vice?
Vice.
Archer Vice.
Yep.
So they've taken the show this year and turned it on its end a little bit to try to give it some freshness.
Yeah.
And because it's now dealing with Miami or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of drug culture and stuff
culture,
like that.
right.
And the thing is that they were secret agents. It turns out they were not. They were not actually sanctioned secret agents. It was something that his rich mother had set up as a front, and they finally got caught and got in trouble with the actual FBI and everything else. And so now we have Gary Cole playing an FBI agent that is just killing.
Well, that was Gary Cole?
That's Gary Cole.
Oh, okay, I knew I recognized the voice. I couldn't put the face with it.
And there's a guy who, to me, I love him on so many different levels because he's such a good actor, but he's a great comic actor. I mean, he's been a great thing when he did the voices on Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. He was several characters on that, along with Colbert. Stephen Colbert was on that show. But it's just a very funny show. But I
loved him as Mike Brady on the Brady.
Yep,
the
guy is a chameleon. I mean, he's excellent at remaking himself as the character, and yet being recognizable as who he is. He's amazing to me. He's a tremendous actor. American Gothic was a show a few years ago that he was fantastic in. That just never quite got the thing that took off and all that. But there was a line in Archer where somebody said something and repeated themselves, and H. John Benjamin as Archer
go ahead.
Said, what was it? I'm not
green and half deaf.
I'm not green and partially deaf.
Yeah, which is a
direct rip on Lou Ferrigno.
Which is who we just saw in the comic book, man. I go, what are the freaking odds of that?
It was a fun little moment of serendipity.
I looked at you and I go, he's talking about Lou Ferrigno.
Yep.
I'm like, what the hell's going on here? All the moons are lining up or something.
A little moment of synchronicity, which is always fun. So.
And they also talked about Comic Book Man. They were commenting about the Batman when Matt Affleck.
Oh yeah, on Comic Book Man, yeah, the whole thing about Ben Affleck because Kevin Smith had worked with Affleck and Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
They did Dogma together, and so
yeah,
he was laughing. He's like he's like, man, if this was the '90s and I was still as tight with Affleck as I was then, I'd probably be the Penguin right now.
Yeah, that's right. And then who would be the Riddler? He said Maury or whatever played Silent Bob.
He played Silent Bob. The guy who played Jay.
The guy who played Jay would be the Riddler. Yeah. And they were all going, well, I can be this, I can be that. But he also made a comment that when it was announced, he said 78% of the tweets or the comments were negative, like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Affleck's going to be that.
Yeah, Affleck's going to be Batman. And then he said 16% were like
we're neutral.
We're neutral, and he said, and then there was another guy who was saying this is great, but it was only me.
Yeah, it was only Kevin Smith.
Only Kevin Smith with all the other tweets saying, I think this is great.
This is fantastic.
So that was kind of neat where he called that out.
Yeah.
So I was shocked on how much the language has changed to me because I only saw a couple of the other episodes, and to me it's like every other word was blowjob and tits and like where did this come from?
No, it's the language has always been there. Just more often than not, it gets bleeped. But the language has always been there.
Well, they didn't bleep it this time around.
No, they did not. I enjoyed watching that episode. It's the first time I've gotten to watch Archer ever since I started watching the show. First time I ever got to watch it on a big screen TV. I've always been watching it on a little computer screen, after the fact, after it's aired or something like that.
Well, it does look better.
or on a DVD. Yeah, it looked great on a big screen TV in high def. It looked great. So
there you go.
All right, so I see this on your sheet here. Do you want to talk about that?
I really don't. If we need it for time, we'll talk about it. Let's go right into the Olympics.
Oh man,
the Olympics.
I'm always a big fan of the Olympics. I love the Winter Olympics. I love the Summer Olympics. I prefer the Summer Olympics, but I love the Olympics. I really do. But man, oh man, just everything I'm hearing about how unprepared Russia and Sochi is right now.
Well, you heard the stories today.
Gosh. Which ones now?
There's 3 stories that were going around the news channels today. One was, and this is only because of the technology that we're in right now. Right. If we didn't have this technology, we wouldn't be hearing about this.
We wouldn't know about it.
We wouldn't know about it until after the fact.
Right.
But because Twitter's out there, everybody's tweeting. And so a couple of they have 4 hotels designated for the news or
for the journalists and stuff.
Journalists and stuff that are covering the Olympics, and these hotels aren't finished.
Nope.
Okay. One tweeted the picture of a sign that was next to the toilet, saying, "Do not flush toilet paper down the toilet." And they have and he showed a picture, and there's a bin next to the toilet that you're supposed to throw the toilet paper into.
Yeah. Now, there's some countries that do that because they have the piping and stuff on their plumbing is so cheap that it's better to
but it was just
have
a waste paper basket. It wasn't anything
that.
sanitary. It's just like throw it here.
Yeah.
All right. That's not going to stay well. Okay. No. The next thing was a tweet of a picture of 2 glasses of water.
Yeah.
Both looking yellower than the ginger ale and bourbon and ginger that you got.
They looked orange for crying out loud.
Yeah, they looked orange, and it said, do not drink the water and do not put the water on your face.
Like, in other words, if you want to wash your face?
Yes.
So you can't take a shower,
can't take a bath. Because of the chemicals in or something, it says it will do harm.
Right.
That's what it said, something to that nature.
So this is the tap water.
This is tap water. And they show it in 2 glasses like we're drinking our short glasses of drinks. Right. And it's yellow, if not orange. Yeah. Okay. And the third thing is a tweet saying that you got to be watching where you're walking because there's several manholes with no covers on them.
Right. Just walking down the street, there's just a big hole.
And sidewalks.
Yeah.
So there's these big holes. And a friend of mine did that. In fact, when we were backpacking up to the Chestnut Ridge one year, me and my friend Johnny Carducci, we're backpacking up, and we're at an intersection, so we're looking across the street. So we're getting up to this intersection. It's like a major, 3 or 4 point intersection. So there's 4 streets coming together. Okay, So we're walking up to press the button for the crosswalk. We got full backpacks on because we're going to thumb. This is back in the 70s, people, where you could actually hitchhike and get somewhere and not have to worry about it. Okay, right. So we're walking there, and then I turn around and Johnny's gone. Johnny's gone. He walked in without looking. He walked himself into not a manhole cover that was open, but like a ditch that was slightly. It was like a square, like a rectangle, but probably about 3 feet by 5 feet. Never saw it because we're looking ahead at the traffic to push the button. He goes down 10 feet deep.
Judas Rip.
I thought he was dead.
With a backpack
with a 60-pound back or 40-pound backpack on his back. I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
He's like, Reno, can you get me out of here? I'm like, yeah, I can. But where the hell did you? I mean, can you imagine? And these are manhole covers down in Sochi that are open, and people are going to walk into these things not knowing that there's nothing there, and they're going to go down.
Particularly if somebody's had a drink or two.
Oh my God, yes. So those are just the first 3. And they're just getting there today.
Yeah.
Okay? Just getting there today. They're saying that these hotels aren't complete. They're not finished. And, here's Putin out there saying, everything's great. Everything's wonderful. What's the problem? We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can't imagine what's gonna happen the rest of the week.
I'm a little worried myself, but I'm hoping that everybody stays safe.
But I'm talking about the games themselves, I'm with you. I really look forward to the hockey. And now, because we gotten to know so many of the international players, because now they're part of the NHL, that you got Americans who are actually, you got teammates now playing against each other. Some are going to be on the American team, and some are going to be on the Canadian team. You might even have some teams. I know we got 2 players that are going to be on the Finnish or Swedish team. So it's amazing on how broad the NHL's become, that you got players that are going to be playing against each other from an NHL team that are going to be playing against each other against country.
Yep.
It's going to be really interesting.
Yep. And it's just one of those things, again, I was starting to say, I just wish everybody safety, and I'm hoping that if they don't have the hotels ready and everything else, at least they have security in place for all of the terrorist threats that they've had.
What is it, the Ring of Steel or the Iron or whatever it's called?
Whatever they're calling it. So
it's a lot of territory they got to protect, and let's, knock on wood that they can do it, and it's going to be a clean games without any interruptions or disruptions, and hopefully that'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get to this because this was not a shocker, but an extreme hole was left in the acting community with the death of Philip Seymour Hoffman because of his addiction. And from what I heard, he was 23 years sober.
Yep.
23 years sober, and he just
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, he was 23 years sober. Just decided to, for whatever the reason, we don't know why he decided to get back in using. And what they say is because of the power and the how toxic the drugs are now, because your body's so clean, and not realizing because of the way you're using back then, I can use like I did before, that your body doesn't have that tolerance built up to it, gone.
Jeez.
And that was part of. They say that was one of the parts of of what really made it escalate so fast, is because his body was so clean, and he started using so quickly, and to the degree he was using before, and he didn't make it, and it's unfortunate because I've never seen him in a bad role.
Yeah, I've seen him in bad movies, but I've never seen him do a bad job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You saw him in Moneyball. I thought he was. I mean, he's excellent.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that he came on the map for me was Twister. And I've only seen a couple of interviews from him, and I'm like, you see him in all these roles where he plays these real stern, conservative, just I want to talk to you. And in Twister, he's like this hippie, hey dudes, let's go party. And I've seen a couple of interviews, and I'm like, there's the Twister guy. It's like this dude that's party guy, and it's so different from what he's been in the last 10 years in roles. Yeah, where he plays a real, very intense. What's the movie where he plays the priest, Unforgiven or something like that, or Chosen or something like that, where he has to make a decision about the nun. It was a couple of years ago.
I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I apologize. But I know what you're talking about.
Was it Charlie? Whatever he played the FBI guy in that, and he played the other one where he's kind of like the Scientology guy, right? With one of the
would help
Phoenix Rivers' brother. Joaquin, who played the other guy in that movie, where just incredible roles. Yeah, and it's a shame. It's Hollywood and the industry has lost one of the greats. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, there was a fantastic article I read online about somebody who had lost who'd done very well for himself in Broadway, off-Broadway plays and stuff like that.
He was nominated for 3 or 4 Tonys.
Right.
I had no idea he had a stage presence like that.
And lost a role that he thought was his to Philip Seymour Hoffman, and went with that typical, I won't say typical, but as an actor, when somebody else gets a role that you really feel like you landed and you kind of want to see what they did with it, and just to get a feeling of like, all right, did they really do that much better of a job, or did they make that different much of a difference in their choices or anything like that? And this guy in his article said it was an education. He said he saw what Philip Seymour Hoffman did and the choices he made, and said that as good as he is and with all the stuff that he'd done, he didn't know if in the course of doing the entire thing he would have ever gotten to where Philip Seymour Hoffman did in the show. I'm not even sure if it was a full-on play. I think it was a series of scenes that they were putting on, something like that. It was one of those, But anyway, it's an excellent article, and if I'd realized we were talking about that, I apologize. I would have looked it up and given it.
You're like me. You did my research, which is none.
So. But anyway, it is a shame. It is a shame. So
yeah, and it's heroin, and it's a nasty, nasty drug.
Yeah, and there is also there's some warnings out there that there's apparently a heroin that's out right now that is of a level of purity or whatever that it really is killing people. So not just from usage. But
it used to be where you had to shoot it up, and now it's so pure that now you can snort it and get the same high, and that's the problem. Because it's now, people would shy away possibly because of the needles that you had to shoot up. But now, if you can just snort it, what the hell? It's just like cocaine. I'll just snort it. Yeah, poof, gone. Oh, boy. So that's just unfortunate. Yep. Unfortunate. And congratulations and happy anniversary.
Yep.
To
Facebook.
Like he needs any more promotion or call-outs. But 10-year anniversary. And you know what? I'll give them props because if you look at the movie they did, not that that's probably 100% accurate, but it gives you an idea of kind of what they went through and how they worked it and moved it from just a little 1-page thing in college. And this guy's he saw something,
right?
And you know what? That was $1 billion idea.
Yep.
That was $1 billion. Even though it wasn't his originally, he saw what it could be and he made it that. Right. So you got to give the kid a lot of credit for that. 10-year anniversary, and what they're doing as part of this 10-year anniversary is allowing you to create a 1 minute and 2 second video, and it self-creates. So all you have to do is go to their website. It's your webpage and / look back. It's called Look Back,
right.
And it takes you to the page, and then that creates the video for you, and then you decide if you want to share it with your friends.
Right.
And it's just a slide presentation with set to music. It pre-selects what it is, but it picks out some things that going through your history on Facebook, which is kind of neat. And there's a bunch of people doing it, so it's like I said, it's self-creating, so you don't have to put any thought process in it other than do you want to share it with the rest of the people.
Yep.
So it's kind of a little neat give back to the Facebook community out there. So.
And I've enjoyed seeing some of my friends, some of the more creative people that I know, actors, actresses, stuff like that. Almost all of them, their videos have been fascinating. People outside of that, not so much. Just a lot of drunken pictures.
Yeah. Mine unfortunately has 2 pictures back to back that are identical because I have them probably two different photo albums, and they chose one out of one photo album, one out of the other one. They're the exact same picture, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But some of the quotes they picked, which they say were the most popular, were pretty good. So it was interesting.
I enjoyed the fact that on my little video, one of the first pictures in the montage, not brought up as a single, was we picked the winners with Amiana and Alyssa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I had some of those. I had the WiseGuys logo came up as one of my pictures, one of my early pictures, and then Roommates of the 21st Century was the duplicate. Came up twice, but and then it had some family shots, which was nice. So good to see that. So speaking of sports, how about that Super Bowl?
Wow, what?
I'm laughing because I'm crying because I really, really wanted Denver to win. In fact, so much so I picked them.
Same here.
Against my better judgment.
Yeah.
Because I really believed Seattle's defense was good.
Yeah.
But
superlatively good.
Yeah, but you think with 2 weeks, oh, what a nice shot. Damn it, Crosby. I hate Crosby. Anyways, after 2 weeks, with 2 weeks of prep, you'd think Peyton would find a way. Yeah. And you know what? He didn't. They got crushed.
It didn't help that his team was falling down all around him. I mean, it's so. But
they want to say, well, the Seattle, started their domination right from the start on the very first play. Well, they had nothing to do with the first play.
Nah,
the center snapped the ball as Peyton was walking up to the line, and it went into the freaking end zone.
Yeah.
And then luckily they jumped on the ball, or they would have got a touchdown instead of a safety. Seattle had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was all Denver.
Yeah.
Now, what that
somebody appled up.
Yeah, whatever that translated into them having to punt because of the safety, which gave them good field position, which allowed them to drive in for a field goal. But Denver at least held them to a field goal.
Right.
So they spotted them 5 points right out of the gate. So that's what they did. So after that, you got to say what Seattle do after that, and then they dominated. So I'll give them credit from that. What I didn't like was what I liked was. Richard Seymour wasn't the factor. Their defense was Richard Sherman. Their defense was very fast. They had a lot of speed, and they could the rush got to Peyton.
Yeah, nobody. There was very little yards after catch. Like Peyton completed a history
record
a Super Bowl record
completions,
completion percentage. His one. Number 88. I can't think of the guy's name right
Demetrius Thomas.
Demetrius Thomas.
Demarius Thomas, yes.
Demarius Thomas had a Super Bowl record number of receptions.
Yes, 13 receptions, 118 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah. And they're saying they shut him down. Well, they shut him down.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
All your flack about I'm going to shut him down. Well, you didn't, pal.
Yeah.
But you shot the rest of the team down, and that's how.
And I will give I'll give the Denver defense the credit in that. They did manage to stop Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
They held him to 2.5 yards per carry, something like that.
Yeah, he was not the deciding factor.
But Russell Wilson played cool ball. Russell Wilson looked like, I said it while we were watching. It's like no. Russell Wilson looks like Peyton Manning right now.
Yeah,
because he's stepping back, surveying the field. Nobody's coming close to him. And then zoom, just firing these. Actually, it doesn't look like Peyton Manning because they all were spirals.
Yeah.
So
they weren't ducks.
Yeah. So
one thing I did notice that Peyton had some receivers downfield. The rush got to him before he can get him out.
Set up
on the pass that he got his arm hit, and it was a pick six the other way.
Yeah.
He had Demarius Thomas down the field on a post pattern. If he could have got the ball to him, it would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
And another play, he had a chance to throw downfield. He got rushed and he got the strip.
Yep.
And so there was a couple of times where he had a chance to get the ball down the field, but the pressure got to him before they could. And I'll give Seattle 100% credit for that.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. It's been another great episode of Drinks at Sunset with
The Wise Guys.
We'll see you around, right?
Thank you for joining us on Drinks at Sunset with the Wise Guys. That's all the great original entertainment we have for you tonight. Join us next week for more original entertainment. We now return you to our regularly scheduled programming.
It's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up with your host, Jason Hadley. More news in the overdose death of actor Philip Seymour Hoffman as investigators found 65 plastic bags of heroin in his New York City apartment. Most saddened was environmentalist actor Ed Begley Jr. that Philip Seymour Hoffman was still using plastic. Kim Kardashian took to Twitter complaining to fans that her new hairstyle's too dark. Who knows why Kim didn't just go back to her stylist, especially since Black History Month is kind of a touchy time to complain about anything being too dark. A fan rushed the stage as Taylor Swift performed at London's O2 Arena. While security quickly moved in to escort him away, technically it still counts as yet another man leaving Taylor Swift. Jack Bauer's back as Fox released the trailer for the reboot of his hit series 24. Starring in the same show twice, if Kiefer Sutherland's acting was anything like his drinking, well, 24 wouldn't be his limit. And that's the Hollywood Rockin' Wrap-Up. Follow us on Twitter at Rockin' Wrap-Up.
Where's my wife and daughter?
Oh, here we go. I believe it's the electronic techno wee rubba dee dee da rah music. Have a pleasant evening and be safe, not stupid, or the boogeyman will find you and wipe a boogie on you. Good night and sweet dreams. Fuck. How do you shut this thing off? Is it this? No, that's my blender. When did I put my blender on a switch? That's odd. Did you hear that? What was that? What was that again? Oh, that's me talking. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, fuck it. Here's the plug. YOLO!